Today I'm going to talk about why you should sort beans, or peas, as in this case. A lot of times you get in a hurry and you think that, oh, well, there are regulations for all these things and they've taken care of that at the factory or wherever it is they put them in the package. But it's not always true. So if you look closely here, I've just gotten started. I've measured out 2 cups of beans, or 2 cups of black-eyed peas, rather, and just started to pick through them. I usually kind of take my colander that I have here and put it at the edge of the countertop here, and then I get started. So, I look through and kind of bring them out into just a single layer. And what you want to do is look for those beans or peas that just aren't quite really what you want to cook. So that would include some of these halves or little pieces, because they won't cook out very well. And I put those over to the side. But as you look around, you'll find some of those. You may find one that's misshapen or one that has bug bites in it, because of course this is a natural product. And that's what you want, is to be able to have something that's as close to nature as possible. But something I want to point out to you is, as you look through, you start out, you can push back the majority of them, and this is 2 cups of beans, so I want to make a good batch of them, put them on to cook. But just bring out a few so that you can see what you're working with here. And there's one. We'll take him away. Okay. That one doesn't look too good. So let's see. Just kind of doesn't really look good. So I've got quite a few here that I don't really need to take that one. But as we look through the beans or peas, now I've looked through these and they look fine. So I'm going to bring them off the counter, put them in the colander, because after I'm finished with this sorting process, before I start cooking them, I'm going to rinse them. So here's another batch, little group here. So we'll bring out another. And you might think this is a little time consuming, but hey, if we're going to get back to nature, we need to learn to slow down a little. There's a half. Put that to the side. Now, as far as what to do with those, well, you can throw them in the trash if you want, but I usually throw them outside and maybe the birds can find a meal. Maybe a small animal will find a meal. Maybe a chipmunk or a squirrel. See, you can be your own quality control person right here. And that's another thing that you really, as a person wanting to get closer to nature or back to the better way of doing things for your health and with less preservatives in that, you're going to find that. Now, something I want to point out to you here, as we look into this little handful, is things that aren't necessarily beans. And this is in the container. And look right here. What this is a little dirt ball. And it comes out, it happens. And it doesn't mean the whole batch is ruined. It's just something that you pick through, and you make sure that you have cleaned the beans, and that's part of it, and that's the reason. And of course, if that gets into your cooking water, it's going to dissolve, and you're going to have a little bit of dirt in your beans. And that's not really what we're after. So that's the reason. Now, it's been known that there may be even in the beans like this, small stones. So you just need to prepare, especially if you're wanting to do some good things for your family or yourself. And, the last thing you want to do is to bite into a stone. That just would not be a pleasant experience. And, we want to make sure that we have a quality batch of food for our family. So just continue on this way. looking through for any that you would deem to be a reject. You know, you want to look for bug bites or any beans that might be less than a good quality dried bean or pea. These kind of things can be done at home too. If you've grown your beans or peas to dry them, you put those out. I've heard you can put them in a pillowcase after you've dried those out in the garden. Let the pods dry. Collect those dried pods. Then you put them in a pillowcase, and you kind of manipulate that pillowcase and smash it, crunch it. Make sure you get all the beans or peas out of those dried pods, and then, you know, of course, if it's an old pillowcase, you cut a small hole, the bottom corner, and you have a quick little way to pour out those dried beans or peas into the container for keeping. We like to take the beans and peas that we have, put them into a jar that we use here. This is actually a half-gallon canning jar, and we have ordered the food saver attachment that goes over the lid. There's a small one for like regular size, and then there is the largemouth size. And you don't have to put the ring on, but you just put the lid on, put the attachment over the top, turn on your food saver, and it sucks all the air out. So you have a sealed product. So that's how we like to keep our beans and our peas here at our house. So that hopefully kind of gives you a rundown on the general process of sorting out beans or peas and the reason. I know that sometimes you maybe didn't learn this at home from mom or grandma, and you really want to get into this and try this. So I wanted to make this video to give you some basic information. I will be making more. Watch out for my posts, and have a wonderful time creating a good, hearty, healthy meal for your family. Thanks. Bye.